probably the most important thing. When I saw her live, I was just like, yes. She's like the perfect example of that. Kia ora and welcome back. My name is Zoe Stevie, your vocal coach for today. And in today's reaction and analysis, we're going to be looking at Cher and Jenifer Hudson with If I Could Turn Back Time. And believe, let's get straight to see what they're up to with their vocal technique.
Hudson.
If I could find a way, I'd take back all those words that hurt you. You'd stay. I don't know why I did the things I did. I don't know why I said the things I said. That's like a knife, it can cut deep inside. The words are like weapons, they wound sometimes.
Oh my goodness me, not only does she look absolutely freaking incredible, but she sounds amazing. Thicker vocal folds in that lower part of the range. Now we do know that Cher is an alto singer, so when you go, I didn't really mean to hurt you, when Cher sings it, it sounds really low, and now when Jenifer sings it, it sounds a little bit higher, and that's because probably due to the size of the larynx, or also the position of the larynx can play around with the timbre. But we'll definitely talk about that later in the video. Let's just go back on that.
That's like a knife, it can cut deep inside. The words are like weapons, they wound sometimes. I never really meant to hurt you. I didn't want to see you go. I know I made you cry. But oh, if I could turn back time. Sing it, y'all. If I could find a way, I'll take back all the time that I hurt you. If I could reach the stars, I give it all to you. I give it all to you, and you love me like you used to do.
Honestly, you don't need me to tell you that Jenifer Hudson is an absolutely incredible singer. Jenifer is like the queen of belting, yeah? And I can't believe we haven't actually had a look at her before on the channel, which is almost a crime. But she's gone into this thick, quite sort of gospel sound that she tends to go into. A little bit of twang, which is a tightening of the area above the larynx. She's got that kind of... Now that's a very ugly version of twang. She does it much more eloquently and beautifully. But with that twang is going to help us to get further up in the range, especially in our belt quality. Let's just go back on that because I was a bit confused with that cut.
Sing it, y'all. If I could find a way, if I could find, I'll take back all the time that I hurt you. If I could reach the stars, to you. I give it all to you, and you love me like you used to do. Turn back time on to you.
She's incredible. She's incredible. So the way in which you can sit there and love me, love me, love you used to do. Big mistake that a lot of people make when they're singing this song is they try and form the vowels as if they're speaking. Creating that tighter do is going to squeeze the sound a little bit. And when we do know, when we go into more of this belt sound, we want to keep the mouth in more of a trumpet shape with this love me and keep the tongue behind the bottom teeth. That's probably the most important thing. But get my free singing lesson available in the description below if you want to learn more about tongue position, especially for belting, like actually with all of your singing.
She needs no introduction. talking to you. So sad that you're leaving. Takes time to believe it. But after all said and done, you're gonna be the lonely
I just love how much fun. The song is so good, I have to say. When I saw her live, I was just like, yes, one of my life goals has been achieved to see Cher live. She's an incredible performer. I mean, look, Cher basically... I've had a look at Cher quite a lot on the channel because I'm just a bit of a fan. And she essentially started that whole idea of using auto-tune to such an extent to change, like to modulate the sounds. Whether the no matter how hard I try. Now, we can't really know if she's singing live or if she's singing with a track. It doesn't really matter, but we definitely know, and you can hear the difference in the sound when she goes to singing the chorus, definitely live. Now, we hear this timbre change difference between Jenifer and Cher. Cher, as I said, is an alto. She's a much darker timbre. The larynx is probably in a lower position than with Jenifer, and she doesn't tend to use that kind of twangy sound. Cher's like the perfect example of like how to sing in a chest voice quality without twang. Yeah, she's like the perfect example of that. Let's just rock out. Now, admittedly, the chorus of the song is quite challenging. Do you believe in love after love? It's life after love. Because sometimes when she's singing, you kind of hear, I always hear like love after love. And I'm like, what? So do you believe in life after love? Now, especially with the dip song of that, do you believe in life after love? This believe. And a lot of singers, and I have sung, you know, a couple of my singers have sung this song in the studio. The tendency is to allow the tongue to go backwards in the mouth with that believe to create that darker timbre, but actually we want to leave the tongue forward, believe, and just move the pitch rather than moving the tongue and the pitch, which is really common in singers that they do, you know, often we connect the pitch with the tongue. And that's definitely something that we want to kind of work our way out of when we go through singing lessons. But check out my free singing lesson available in the description below if you want to get onto how to separate your tongue flexibility from the pitch. It's a really, really good lesson. I know I've already said that, but I'm going to say it again because I talked about the tongue just there. She's makes me feel a little bit better as a human being. I know I'm going to get shot down in the comments for this, but I just wanted to point out that I love that Jenifer Hudson just missed one note. And it makes me so happy to watch live performances, because this is what it's about. There is no such thing as a perfect performance. And I don't want anyone to actually strive for a perfect performance. We're striving for connection to our lyric, connection with our audience. And that perfection, or the pitch accuracy and all those sorts of things, that's the work that gets done here in the vocal studio, not on stage. Oh, and do you know what? I'm only pointing it out because we're looking at the vocal analysis. That was one note in like thousands of notes that she's singing, or hundreds of notes, I don't know. So, you know, it's really unimportant. You notice there as well, when they were singing back and forth, let's just go and have a look at that, massive timbre like differences. And that twang as well. I'm sorry, I'm just going to stop there. You know, that twang as well. And I know that I'll get through this. Now, I know I'm no Jenifer Hudson, okay? And like gospel is not my thing. But she's got that thick vocal folds, that little bit of squall going on the top there. And I'm just loving it. You can hear, even though it's like a lower note, it sounds quite relatively high in comparison to what Cher's going to sing. Oh, amazing. I'm so sorry. That was a slightly, I totally understand that is Jenifer Hudson's thing. A slightly strange way to end Do You Believe in Love? But, you know, I love, actually, that I believe in life after love. I love that she does, you know, she always makes the songs that she sings her own. And I can really appreciate that, you know, this is her wheelhouse, right? She does do really lovely big riffs and runs, and does go a little bit gospel at the end there. Now that, at the, or whatever she just did that, I've been renovating and my piano is actually not plugged in at the moment. The cable's just lying there, and I was like, oh, go turn it on. No, I can't. Anyway, I'll plug that in for the next video. Just ignore that, people. So when she went there, that was probably belts, to be honest. That was probably belts still in there, because we know that Jenifer has an incredible belt range. And actually, as we go further up, you know, it's still a thicker vocal fold. And on our computer program, you know, when we're looking at the raising of the second formant over the first formant, we actually would be able to probably see that was belt, but I would have to get Jenifer in the studio to have a look at that on the spectrogram. She's incredible. You can also see you can also hear really clearly that there's more twang being introduced. As we go further up in the range, especially if we're taking our belt further, the entire, like the larynx is raising, the vocal folds are thinning, everything's getting much, much tighter up there. And that's why it sounds like a little bit shriller, but it's not as if it's like, it's not a bad shrill or anything like that. It's just, that's just the way that she sounds when she's higher. I would take a bet though that was belt as she was going further from range. Oh, two incredible singers. Have to say, the timbres didn't really work for me whatsoever. I don't really feel, I mean, look, I appreciate that this is a duet for for this performance. I don't necessarily think that Jenifer Hudson and Cher's voices really went particularly well together, but I think that's probably one of the reasons why they didn't really sing a lot together. It was sort of like more of a back and forth, which works really well in these situations. Jenifer has a much brighter timbre than Cher does, and when we're talking about matching timbres for duets, we want to try and keep the same sort of vocal colors, because Cher really, when you're listening, she's sitting just under the note, which is really typical for a lower larynx or that sort of like lower tongue position sound. And Jenifer is, for me, sitting a little bit above the note when I'm listening. So that's something that's usually quite important when you're singing a duet with people, obviously two incredibly famous people. No one gives a shit, and it shouldn't really matter anyway. My goodness me, I am just so pumped. I cannot wait. I've actually got a free masterclass all about belting available in the description below. You can check it out down there. Check out some more Cher and your breathing for belt, which is super important if you're going to be working on this vocal quality. Let me know down in the comments what you thought about this performance. What do you struggle with your singing? I'm here to help you, and have an awesome rest of your day. Ka kite anō.